Hi everyone, welcome to the third installment of the podcast Buy Your Kids a House. I'm Andrew Higgins and this is Matt Garlock.
Heyo.
And today we're going to be talking about health and travel. Everyone says you can't have both. You either spend on expenses like travel or you invest in your health.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we looked into ways that maybe we could incorporate those together and save money while doing so. And so here on Health and Travel, we're going to dive into the aspects of where we talk a lot about money overall, but also looking at the ways we can help save that money while also helping you live a healthier life. So we're going to go a little bit over some of the things we're going to cover in this. So first off, I think Andrew's going to dive into the aspect of some travel hack ideas, maybe credit card points, things along those lines.
Yeah, so looking at traveling, getting more points for travel, this is one of the big ways that people, afford these days to travel is all the points they accumulate. But is it getting worth it to just save your money? Or is it more worth it to spend the money on the credit card and pay that off to be able to get the points that they're accumulating? Now, if you're in a position to where you're not just spending because you have no more money left on your credit card, then I think, is a great option. And there's a couple different ones that get you a lot more. Like I know the Chase Sapphire for travel specifically gets you a lot of points. It's I think one of the highest ones as well that you get a lot of points out of it. So you can accumulate that for different airlines and just transfer it over. You can even transfer the points or redeem it within it. But then we got to talk about lounges. Is the American Express lounge worth it to wait in? Like I personally don't have American Express, but I have heard people love the lounges. And to me, the annual fees for the American Express specifically is just way too high for, a lounge. Some people are in positions to where they can afford that, but moving forward or looking at the different things, I'm all for the points and using them for travel or, just accumulating them for a credit card if you're not going past your means. Otherwise, I think it's probably a smarter idea to just start saving the money, putting a little bit aside here and there, and then who knows, you could choose to get a credit card and then just use that lump sum to pay it all off. That way you can get those points and what do they accumulate to, what they really get you. A lot of them I know are like dollar for dollar. But some of them do have, like the Chase Sapphire, I think it's 1.5 times or 2 times for travel specifically in different locations that you purchase. Or if you purchase those, you can redeem like a gift card or like credit toward it as well.
Yeah, and diving into like where that return is worth of it. Now I know some places, I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with, like the people like the Points Guy and their blog series. It can get really confusing as to how to maximize that. And is that maximizing it really worth the time and effort for something traveling? You're supposed to be enjoying your vacation and relaxing of. When if you're so stressed on the points and everything, like you're kind of nullifying the relaxing of that. Now, I'm all about if the opportunity is there to maximize it, but also comes the other element of your own personal financial discipline. Like, it is very easily a very slippery slope to start maxing out those credit cards and not being able to pay them off all at once and everything. Right. So then now you're paying the interest on that. So that's where people like Dave Ramsey and things don't recommend having credit cards at all, because he's under this aspect of if you're looking for financial coaching, odds are you don't have that personal discipline of how to keep the credit cards free and clear. So again, we're going to look at those options and everything and seeing is there a simple solution that you get the most benefit from, and also is it worth the potential of going down that slippery slope of having too much to spend on there. And then the other aspects of it we're going to go to is with health aspects. Now, I'm going to tell my personal aspect being 40 plus, and we're going to look at how being a little bit older, a lot older, heading down that road of what those health trends are and how my own personal fitness journey on that. I fully admit I need to lose a little bit of weight, but also some other aspects of also flexibility and sports ability to do things. Now, being a little bit older, I've noticed even just being 41, body's not quite responding like it used to be, metabolism slowed down. How does my own outlook of what my own fitness journey look differently than what it does to someone like in their 30s?
Right, no, exactly. And getting into my mid-30s now, things are starting to get there.
Check engine lights, come on.
You start noticing, if it's just like walking around work all day, like my knee will be sore, like almost feeling like almost hyperextension, and just those signs that like, it's time to work on the flexibility to be able to movements don't hurt. You know, if I want to bend over and pick something up, not to pull my back or something, you know. So flexibility is really important to me. So like stretching, yoga, I love yoga. Yoga is definitely a challenging thing to do because you're on the floor suspending yourself using your core pretty much the whole time. And then just like normal gym stuff, like I do enjoy going for walks, especially traveling. Like I love hiking while traveling, but like if you're not out and you're at home and you want to stay healthy, you know, outside's great. Typically, I mean, here in Florida anyway, pretty much year round, we can go for a walk and be able to.
And a lot of the newer neighborhoods, like yours, has nice trails, things or sidewalk areas to walk around here, and built-in nice views going around and everything with that. So.
No, exactly. So it's just getting the discipline to start incorporating it more consistently in our lives, and that's for me. Being where I'm at, I'm getting older and I see the decay, and I don't want to like walk around too much because I might hurt myself, but that's hurting me in the longevity.
Yeah.
So like it's time to stop being as lazy as I am and start getting out there more.
Yeah, and with that also, we can also look into some of the new fitness trends going in and see the cost benefit of them. Like right now, big is ice plunges and everything, you know.
Yeah.
And there are places now you can go pay to join memberships to go do that at. They seem to be a little bit pricey, but I don't know if that's necessarily worth it. But I also know buying a cold plunge, now there are ways you can build your own that are more cost effective. But if you're to buy it done for you, they're upwards of like $10,000 for these things. And like just seeing that benefit of like, is it really worth on that? Do you see the less of inflammation and the ability to bounce back and everything? There's other ones out there like red light therapy seems to be a big trend going out there right now. Does it help with lowering inflammation and the other health benefits it claims to have? Looking at different gym trends. We're getting a whole series of the boutique type gyms, the ones there's your high intensity classes, the CrossFit type box gyms, your standard big box gyms, like Anytime Fitness, Planet Fitness, things along those areas. That are they worth the benefit of what they do, or even garage gyms? I'm personally trying to build out a little bit more at home currently. What equipment needs to go in there? What quality equipment? What is available out there? Is the different tier levels of equipment worth the difference in price point level? Is it okay to get, instead of having necessarily get Rogue Fitness everything, is Titan Fitness equipment still okay? The different benefits of that. What other equipment is out there? There's the Torque M1 sled that I've had my eye on for a while. It's a really cool tool, but it is something that just does one thing. It takes up a lot of space. So being that it only does the resistance pushing training and everything with it, and it's a fairly large piece of equipment and also expensive, like, is that worth the benefit of that?
Having it in your home versus going to the gym or something like that. Now, for me personally, going to the gym, if I'm paying for a subscription of a membership to a gym, then I'm more likely to go than if I have stuff in my house. It's easier to walk to the couch and put on Netflix than it is to stay motivated. So I know for some people, it's easier to go out and actually have a movement of, okay, I have to get ready, I have to go out, I have to do this, and it just solidifies this is something we're doing in your brain versus maybe not today.
Well, that's where a lot of people have the thought of personal trainers and everything. If I book or these F45 classes and things, if I have it booked and then I'm being charged with this and it's on my calendar, I have to go do it. And maybe that habit is what you need to do to get out there and experience that. Now, I do that to some extent, not quite to that level, but I'm big into a lot of the Run Disney aspects in Florida here. I do the Dopey Challenge, which, for those who aren't familiar, that's for over 4 days. You do a 5K, 10K, half marathon, full marathon. So a lot of miles over 4 days. But you get the benefits of running through the parks and everything. Lots of entertainment along the way. The characters are out there. The fireworks are going off. The music's playing. The entire it just really helps you keep motivated. It's a relatively flat course as well, which for Florida running is fantastic because Florida runners are not built for mountain runners.
We're not, no.
So the benefits of that. But is it worth the cost? Because every year that price of Dopey is going up and up and everything.
I heard,
it's like $650 for Dopey. It's
for all the races.
For all 4 races, and you get 2 extra shirts and 2 extra medals. But also, like, now my kids are getting into it, which is also adding to the expense because now we have an entire family of 4 doing the 5K, and then this year my daughter's doing the 10K for the first time because she's old enough to do it. So that's an additional expense on there, and then also we generally get the hotel when you're there because you want to be on property because buses take you right to the race start and back.
So that cost.
So it just keeps climbing and climbing. So is that worth it? And what it takes also going for training for that and everything.
Right.
Just running in general. The running used to be joking as like one of the easiest, I don't want to say easiest, but like cheapest forms of exercise because all you need is your 2 feet and a pair of shoes.
Right.
Well, now shoes are getting expensive and everything. Like the Nike Alpha Flies and everything are upwards of $300+.
It's insane.
And that's used to be like you can go get $50 pair of shoes and go out there running, and now being a little bit older, like you were talking about feeling the impact on your joints and things like that. Like I feel like I need to have these slightly better shoes. Not because I'm trying to save my time, but just because I'm trying to save my joints from the impact and have these more max cushion and things that help ease the pounding, especially over 26 miles.
Oh no, exactly. I've always been a big believer in quality over quantity. Like I would rather buy that one like $150 pair of shoes and it lasts me for the next 4 or 5 years. Then depending on how much you use.
I'm gonna say they only last for a certain amount of miles. So
do they have miles on them? I haven't looked into that yet.
Yeah, like so the cushion these break down. So like you can only get a couple hundred miles on them before you have to get new ones.
Okay.
So that's already scratched out the window on that because I go through. You have your daily trainer shoe, you have your race shoe, and everything. So you have to have multiple different shoes and. Yes, the race shoes I can stretch out a little longer because I saved those for race days, but your daily trainer, which could still be $150, $200, like it adds up because after every couple months you're having to get another one. So
that adds up really fast.
Yeah, it does.
Since you've done a lot of the Disney marathon stuff, since we live so close, you've been able to do that. Do you think it's worth for someone to come all the way to Florida? Let's say they live in the middle of the country or even on the other coast. To come to experience that, is the experience worth it? Like, do you get stuff out of it? Obviously, we're talking about the health aspects of it as well. But if you're spending that much, the cost versus health, in your opinion, do you think it's worth it?
And again, I think it's for what personally motivates you. As you were saying before, the motivation of having a gym membership motivated you to get out of the house and go to the gym.
Yep.
I think again for someone that maybe is trying to do like a couch to 5K series or couch to whatever distance you're trying to do. If you love Disney that much, combined with that may help be the icing on the cake to get you into there. It is a fantastic community and everything to go with that. But if you just need something to go do, like we have the local track series around here that just go around the neighborhood. They're much cheaper and they're still fun. You go around the neighborhood. And, there's other different depending on what it is you're doing, whether it's a turkey trot for Thanksgiving or Valentine's Day Cupid run, things on those lines that. Much cheaper, and you still get the benefit of being out and doing the distance and going through that experience, and still getting a medal and a T-shirt and things. Maybe not quite to the level what Disney does with theirs, but again, the difference in price point. If you just want to get out there and get going and enjoy the community, I would say your local races might benefit. But if you really need, I need something really to spark to get me going. That's maybe where something like a Disney race comes in. Like my next challenge that we're trying to do. I'm trying to expand now from the Disney races to the Abbott Big World 6 majors. And so that's incorporating travel as well because, again, you're going to Chicago, Berlin, London, Boston, New York, going around to Tokyo, those distances. Not many of those you have to do qualify for, so I have a long way to go. That. But there comes in the lottery of signing up, the cost of signing up, traveling to there, the hotel stay there and everything. So, is that worth that journey and everything just to get the say that I completed the Abbott World 6 majors? And now they've added more. Like I think Sydney just got added, and I think they're adding out a couple of locations.
That's incredible.
Yeah, but you get to run these locations too. So you're getting the travel element of those because they're major cities. They're fun to travel and explore. But then you get the element of also being healthy and going through that.
I was going to say, what a great way to be able to travel and stay healthy if you're traveling for the marathons. And then like on your in-between times, see the sights, go out and experience the culture wherever you're at.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited because I haven't been to Europe yet and everything. So the potential of doing London and Berlin and things, again, like you said, it's a good excuse to get over there. And then you just travel around and enjoy the rest of the town and everything.
I mean, one of my favorite things is to go on hikes to see the things instead of taking just transportation. I know when I went to Ireland several years ago, we rented a car and you can drive around, but there's a lot of areas that you have to get to just by walking. And it's a lot of walking, let me tell you what. However, it's some of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in my life. like that I would have missed out if I just would have kept driving and be like, I don't feel like walking down this path for a mile or 2 miles or something like that.
Yeah.
But once you get there, I mean, that's incredible stuff that you find.
Well, and you have the aspects of traveling, hiking around a city, but also you have hiking in nature in general as well.
Right.
Whether it's Yellowstone or Denver, Colorado, and Yosemite, Alaska.
Yeah.
Having the part of the nature be the hike as well, which adds that health aspect because you're experiencing that now.
Right.
Again, as a Florida boy, we're talking about hiking mountains and lower oxygen in Denver and things like that.
I was going to say,
you got to build up for
acclimate.
it. Yeah, you got to build up for it and everything. But adding that travel element in there and experiencing that area while still also having the health and aspect of hiking around and experiencing what that area has and everything. So
and it's so much fun. So there's so many different ways that you can travel and stay healthy and fit all at the same time. And just some of these options are incredible, especially if you don't want to spend the money on the run Disney's and spend the money on the travel, like you say, getting into your local community. I know a lot of cities that are smaller or moderate, they do it just around the city and things like that for the runs. And it's just, I don't know, something about a community coming together just to have fun and stay healthy and to get exercise out there is just really cool. And I think it helps having that community too to help stay motivated.
Yeah, and then with that also comes the travel aspect, not just the health and fitness side of it, but traveling in general of what areas are worth it these days.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we're in Orlando, so is Disney even worth it these days? We're biased in that perspective because we have the ability of living here. But there's other destinations around the world, like whether going to Vegas or whether traveling to Europe, traveling to Asia, around the world, like is the rising cost of these beneficial for that? And then also comes the aspect of traveling in comfort. I know flying over to Europe, obviously international flights are different than flying domestically, but is the bump in travel level, whether it's coach, business class, first class, are the raising price points really worth what you get for that? I'm a bigger guy in general and everything. I may not be taller, but I'm bigger around, so it's a few extras of leg room and width worth the space. I also don't mind a free drink or two, so it's a benefit of drinks of business class, first class worth versus maybe just buying it yourself and coach. I also travel 2 small kids, so again, having a little more comfort and space for them might be beneficial.
It's definitely something better.
But also, I've experienced the evil eye that business first class might give you for bringing kids in the business first class because they kind of feel like, kids should not be up here type of thing. Years ago, I flew to Alaska with my wife and only my daughter because it was when she was a baby. And I remember I splurged and got first class for us. And there I am coming with a baby, and the amount of looks I got, I was like, how dare you bring
that baby better be quiet on this flight or else.
Yeah, pretty much. So I definitely felt that sort of stigma about that and everything.
Yeah.
So we're going to explore all those options and see, what of those, is it worth it? Is it worth the splurge? And also other avenues of how to pay for these, whether it's building a dividend portfolio,
right?
So then you can use your dividends each year for the same type of trip, because for the most part, flights, whether it's domestically or internationally, are relatively the same for packages. So you can kind of predict what that, between the hotel stay and the flights, what that cost would be. It'll vary a little bit, especially experiences you're trying to do, whether exploring different locations on destination or the different, like swimming in the ocean, petting a dolphin, those types of things. But for the most part, you can kind of predict, what your flight, your hotel, and your food's going to be, and then maybe having an investment, whether it's a dividend or normal stocks, that can help supplement that, and combining that with the credit card points and see where that benefits from.
Right, and no, I was going to say the same thing. The credit card points is a great way to get upgrades because typically if you're paying up front for the ticket, you're not using as many points. It all depends on where you're going and how far you're going. But usually it's a lot better to be able to just upgrade, instead. And that is an option that a lot of people do use instead of just using the points to be able to get the entirety of the flight.
Yeah. So, in general, you can see we're going to have a lot of different areas and topics to cover on this and see from that where that goes. And again, once again, we are biased for being in Florida and everything, but we want to explore what options are around the world. As I briefly mentioned, Vegas and Yosemite and Yellowstone and things. But there's way more beyond that, and finding out what those travel destinations are. And another big trend right now is sports traveling. So going around, people want to go and check out every baseball park or seeing a place, every football stadium.
Right.
Thing, is that worthwhile experience and everything, and what entails being a fan of that sport. And also just something that, even if you're not the biggest fan of that sport, like, is it just something you should experience and do because you say you did or everything.
So if you're into travel or you're just looking to stay fit while traveling, this series is for you.
Yeah, and make sure to check out our other intros, and you can kind of look back and see how this all fits into the bigger financial picture of life.
Yeah.
And with that, please make sure to help us out. Like, subscribe, share everything you can to help us out. Comment in there, as I briefly mentioned earlier, about what areas you're at, of what travel destinations. Do you feel it's worth it? Do you feel it's become too hyped? Is it worth the benefit of it? Or we should come check it out ourselves and everything and see what our own version of it is. So please make sure you put those in the comments so we can check things out, because being in Florida, we are focused here, but we want to see the rest of the world and everything as well, and what you have to offer. So until next time, thank you for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.